Hi, my name is Amy. Thank you very much for watching, and let's make some bad financial decisions together. This is for entertainment purposes only, so if you're entertained, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate that. So, it's been a fun month. This is the portfolio review, and yeah, just peachy. Everything's great. I don't know what you're talking about. um, but in the end, I did lose a lot of portfolio value, but that just made my average yield very high, which, I mean, it might make me look like know what I'm doing, but we all know the truth. So, what actually happened? In this last week, I ramped up my efforts to get to $1,000 of options a week. And this is because I don't want to rely on my rental income to be able to pay off my credit cards on time. So I made the choice before the crash to over leverage myself, reduce my margin buffer so that I could take out more options and get to this $1,000. Excuse me. Even though my portfolio probably shouldn't support that. So on Tuesday, when the market was crashing that much, I was looking at my checking account and going through my budget for the rest of the month just to make sure that I would have enough money to, pay all my bills until I get paid on the 7th. But I'm glad I did look because I did not have enough money. I was looking to see if I had anything I could, send over to Robinhood in the off chance that I did get a margin call. But yeah, I didn't have enough money, so I wound up taking $1,000 from Robinhood and giving it to my checking account so that I don't get an overdraft. But that means that I wasn't in danger, but then I took out $1,000 and all of a sudden it was much closer to getting a margin call. And so when I got to around within $2,000 of it, it was like 3,000, but it was less than 10% margin buffer. And so I decided to sell 2 shares of Misty. And what that did was I actually sold 2 more puts on MSTU. So this week in February, the amount of money that I sold Misty for is what I spent to open those MSTU positions. And at some point, I am going to get really, really messed up with all of these MSTU puts out. And you're welcome to stay and witness the train wreck. But for now, if this is the winter, which I don't know, because the 4-year cycle, they have traditionally one last rally in the spring at some point, and then we go into the winter. But, I did not make up the 4-year cycle. It's a phenomenon that's been commented at. And so if we don't follow the traditional cycle because of some kind of a macroeconomic thing that happened, it's not my fault. I was still planning on accumulating strategy and Misty during the winter when it goes down anyways. So it would be better for me to know if it's actually winter. That way I can ramp up buying it, because when the value goes down, that's when, buying it is good because, it's cheaper. So I'm still looking that in 4 years, Misty will be worth a lot more and we'll be getting those 100% distributions in 4 years. So this pullback does not alarm me in that way. I just wish that I hadn't taken out so many options and made my margin buffer so small that at the beginning of this, if I had more margin buffer, I would have been more relaxed about this. So this is the same kind of mistake that I made with using the credit spreads. Sometimes you just have to witness how it works in real life to understand what everybody's been talking about. So the plan for March is I'm just not going to buy anything. I'm not giving $1,000 to my checking account to pay for my credit card next week because I already prepaid that. But for 3 weeks in March, I'll be taking out $1,000 each week. And then whenever my renter's money comes in, that all will be transferred over to here. And whatever cash I have, that'll just stay as cash for the entirety of March. Not buying a single stock. And the goal is to get my margin up to at least 30%. I would prefer if it was 50%. And once it reaches, 30%, I can start investing into things like XDTE because they have a 25% margin maintenance and it won't affect my buffer that much. But I would really prefer to prioritize getting my margin buffer up there because a consequence of having a really volatile portfolio is that I can't take out as much margin because if Misty loses 90% of its value, then I'm going to have to come up with basically all of the money I have as collateral, or I'm going to have to sell things that I might not wish to sell. But I could also, and just throwing this out there, SMST has options. So I could put an amount in there and start selling options on that. SMST is a 2x inverse of a strategy as well. So it would be just like playing with fiat. So I don't want to own SMST, but if it's between that and having to sell something that I care about, then when my MST positions are down, SMST should be up. So there's that. So that's an option that I might explore in April, but March we're just going to not buy much and yes, roll my positions so I get my $1,000 per week, but other than that, we're basically just rehabbing ourselves and getting this back to a reasonable amount of margin before the next crisis happens, hopefully. So, I'm not too phased. Like, I wasn't questioning owning Misty because it's going down. I was questioning my sanity because my margin buffer is so low. So, anyways, how did you fare? I hope that you all are more like my retirement account, which in the last week, I only lost 2.61% versus in my investing account at some points during the week, I lost almost, 25% of my portfolio value. So it can happen, and it's more likely to happen when you're over leveraged like I am, but I've decided on the portfolio that I'm using, and I'll make it work until it doesn't work. So I will talk to you all later. Bye.